How's it going, everyone? Welcome to this week's Q&A. So like any other week, if you want a chance one question is being answered, make sure you drop a comment down below with your question, and I'll try to get to each and every question. If you've asked a question and I haven't replied, there's a good chance that I didn't see it or I have it on my list of answers to get to, our questions to get to. So I will get to them eventually, but if it's been more than a couple weeks, drop your comment down below once again so I could try to answer each and every person's question. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with the first question of the week. And what brand spark plugs should you be installing in your Honda and Acura? And the answer is real simple: NGK or Denso. That is the OEM manufacturers for the Honda spark plugs. So don't use a Bosch or Autolite or anything of that nature, because those spark plugs will have some issues with them. So I know the Honda spark plugs are expensive. Sometimes it can be up to 20, 25, 30 bucks a pop. So if you have a 6-cylinder, obviously they add up pretty quickly, although they do last a long time on normal applications. So if your car is modified, it definitely reduces the efficiency of the spark plugs over time. So if your car is 100% stock, like most of you watching this channel, then you should get easily 90,000 miles out of them. Now, there are other spark plugs out there, like at Napa and AutoZone and stuff like that. Also NGK and Denso, but 9 out of 10 times they aren't exactly the same type of quality as the OEM ones. So also there are spark plugs for sale on like Amazon and eBay. Those 9 out of 10 times are counterfeit. So make sure you stay away from those. Those are definitely not the same quality as an OEM. So if an OEM one is $20, let's say at your local dealer, and you find for a set for $20, stay away from those. You might as well just put Autolites in there, because you will get the same effect as putting those fake or counterfeit spark plugs in your vehicle. So buy from your dealer. Worst case scenario, try to buy from an aftermarket parts store, Napa, AutoZone, Rock Auto, etc., etc. But stay away from the ones on eBay and Amazon. Not that there can't be real ones on there, but again, if the price is too good to be true, it probably is. So hopefully that answers this question for you. All right, so the next question is, what are my thoughts on the 2025 Honda Civic Hybrid? So 25 is the first model year that the Civic is offered in a hybrid in this current generation. So I overall like the car. I think it's a great buy in my personal opinion. Now, will it be perfect? Will it be problem free? Absolutely not. So, but I think overall, in the long run, it's going to be a great car. It gets great miles per gallon. So there are some hiccups with it. There is a recall that is going to be out for it. It's actually out for it now, but parts aren't available for the high pressure pump on it. And we've seen some injector failures on those motors. I personally know somebody who contacted me saying they actually had one fail on them. So we haven't seen it yet in our shop. But again, these type of things are going to happen, especially in the first model year type of vehicle. Now, these engines have been out for a while, but we've also had some injector issues for a while now. So nothing on a mass scale. We probably had a handful on these engines combined. So nothing crazy as of yet. I will make a 1-year update on that vehicle when the time comes around. I forgot when they officially went on sale, but overall, I think it's a great buy. I think it's going to be a great car in the long term. Once Honda gets, these small hiccups out of the way, I think for sure you could buy with confidence. So hopefully that answers the question for you. All right, so the next question is proper maintenance for a CVT transmission to ensure that you get the most out of it. So a lot of people don't like the CVT transmission just because of the idea of the design of it. And it's very bland to drive, but it does get the job done, and it gets it done well if you maintain it properly. So a lot of people say, well, it's a Honda, she'll last. Well, anything needs proper maintenance. That doesn't matter what manufacturer or what brand or anything in life for a fact. So like anything else, it is going to need its proper maintenance to make sure that you get the most out of it. So what should you be doing? Oil services or transmission services on it at every 1,000 miles. Some people might say that's too aggressive, but I'd rather spend a couple $100 every 30,000 miles than have to replace the transmission down the line. So these transmissions, I've seen plenty of them with over 200,000 miles, once again, with the proper maintenance. So at 30,000 miles, change the trans fluid. At every 60, so every second transmission service, you should be changing the filter or filters depending on the type of transmission it is. So some of them will have oil filter behind the cooler. Some of them have oil filter behind the cooler and inside the pan that are both serviceable. So you should be changing those filters, in my opinion, every 60,000 miles. At worst, every 90,000. But to ensure the best quality of the transmission overall, I'll say every 30,000 miles, change the fluid, and then every 60, change the fluid and the filters at that time. And of course, like anything else, when you get in a vehicle, especially in the winter months, don't go and mash the throttle. That's not going to be good for your engine or the transmission. You don't have to sit in the car and let it to idle to full operating temperature. Just take it easy the first couple blocks and just don't go, again, 100% throttle or 75 or whatever. Take it easy for the first mile or two, first couple blocks or whatnot. And then as the temperature warms up, then you can kind of accelerate it a little bit more aggressively. So hopefully that answers the question for you. All right, so the next question is brake pedal is hard over a night. What can be some of the issues that's going on with it? So typically on a conventional type of brake booster setup, so I believe this person has like a 19, 20, 21 Honda Pilot. So we're talking about an old school brake booster, no electronics, nothing fancy like the modern day cars that we see in most cars nowadays. So some of the issues that could be happening is obviously something with the brake booster itself. So the brake booster is not holding vacuum. It could be that it's losing vacuum overnight. And then, there's no vacuum supply there for that one shot that you have in the morning, causing a rock hard brake pedal. Additionally, there is a check valve on a hose going from the intake manifold to that brake booster that could be having the same effect. So potentially something with that check valve, it's not holding vacuum overnight and causing that to happen. So that would be the first two places I would look, and probably something along those lines is leaking. So if the engine wasn't making vacuum, obviously it wouldn't be running very efficiently or at all possibly. So I think very possible something is going on there. Additionally, maybe when this person turns off the vehicle, sits inside of it, you get maybe 1 to 2 pumps on that brake pedal before it runs out of vacuum. So if you turn it off and you happen to hit the brake pedal a couple times before you actually exit the vehicle, I know some people like to use the brake pedal kind of as leverage to push themselves out of the car. Then that could very well be that the next morning you go there and there's no vacuum left in that booster to give you that assistance to help you push the brake pedal down. So now if that isn't happening, then something else may be going on and you should probably get it diagnosed professionally. Maybe they have to try a couple different things, let it sit overnight a couple times to just kind of see where to go from there. So hopefully that helps you out and answers the question for you. All right, so last but not least, question of the week. What are some updates and processes and procedures on this EPS sticky situation for Honda? So if you aren't aware, this recall affects Integras, HRVs, CRVs, and Civics. And initially, we had to go ahead and drop the subframe to do the repair. Now, Honda has updated the Bolton as of Friday last week, 10/18, to just being able to remove the end cap, apply some grease, and put everything back together. So that is a much easier and a much shorter time process than having to drop the whole rack. So the only issue is Honda is only allocating a certain amount of repair kits per a dealer. So it's going to take a while before they can catch up and give us a steady supply of these kits. So even if they did, and once they do, just be aware that we only have one set of tools to perform this repair. So even though we have about 20 guys in our shop, only one of us at a time could be using that tool. So it's not like we could be flooded with these vehicles and we'll get them all done in one day. It's not going to happen. Plus, we have all the other stuff going on, a couple of the recalls, regular maintenance cars, regular concerns and stuff like that. So just please be patient. I know this is frustrating to a lot of people, especially if you just purchase your vehicle, but please be patient. Believe me when I tell you, we're going to be on it as soon as we can, as quickly as we can. So once everything is operating nice and smoothly, the actual procedure takes about half an hour to 45 minutes. So it's not horrible. But the problem is, again, we have all these other cars and everything coming in. So by the time you get written up, a lot of the dealers will probably ask you to drop off the vehicle. So if you don't, then it's a very good chance you're probably going to wait 2 to 3 hours for this to be completed from the time you drive in the door to the time you drive in out. It's just not as simple as you pull in, we start on it right away, and then 30 minutes later we're done and you're out the door. So it just doesn't happen that way. In a perfect world, sure, but obviously there's a lot of stuff going on. You have to get written up, you have to talk to your advisor, the car has to get checked in, we have to get the parts, we have to get the tools, we might have to wait for the tools, and then everything kind of works in that order. And by the time everything's said and done, again, 2 to 3 hours, maybe even up to 4. So if you're going to wait, just expect something along those lines. Maybe you'll catch your dealer on a slow day and you'll be out quicker. Really depends on the dealer and on the situation of that day. So again, we're being allocated these parts. Your dealer is not going to be able to request anything or anything of that nature. So if you are having this issue, maybe you want to contact the dealer. Maybe they could do something for you. I'm not sure. That's going to be a dealer by dealer case and a case by case type of situation. So hopefully that answers some of the questions for you guys. I know you guys want updates on all these recalls. I am doing my best. You saw that I put out a whole bunch of videos last week. So there's a lot going on right now. A lot going on with Honda and, socially and everything like that. Personal stuff with my life as well. But I'm trying to update each and every one of you as best as I can. So with that being said, catch everyone on the next one.